for his third touchdown of the day. And we have the Browns winning big, 31-6 over the Dolphins.
All right, Bill, I think I got this part right. Aditi Kinkhabwala, after the game, is talking with the Browns quarterback, Mr. Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah.
Both to look at that we want to get better at, but even on special teams, making plays like that. So it gives us a chance to win. We came together and made it happen, which is really good.
How about your running back, Quinshon Judkins, the way that he ran today? What was most impressive?
He's a workhorse, and he never flinched. He's hungry for the football, and we want to keep feeding him. So appreciate him.
Well, we saw a smile there. How about the rain? Was the rain better or worse than you expected?
Just part of it, embracing Cleveland, but spent some time in Oregon with some drizzle, and then where I'm from in Hawaii, we had a little rain too, so the rain's not too bad for anyone.
Well, congratulations on the battle of the left-handed Hawaiian quarterbacks and on your first win.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I'm good.
I think, listen, when you look at what's going on right there, Kevin Stefanski has a young quarterback. He's making his start right there. And he threw the ball 18 times. He handed the football off. I think he's bringing along just fantastic. Let's just talk about the other side of the ball right now.
Miami?
Miami. I said Miami is out there, and I think we saw it at halftime. It'd be interesting to see how they come out at half. This was a game that I think they've been very competitive in, to be quite honest with you, throughout these losses through the first part of the season. The second half of that game, they looked almost disinterested. They looked deflated. They looked almost, there was nothing left in the tank. And they almost disengaged. And I'm just talking the way I saw it. And Tua turned the ball over 4 times. The defense gave up some big plays. So it'll be interesting to see what happens down there. There's been a lot of talk about the lack of structure that they have inside the building. But the bottom line, again, whether we don't know what's going on inside the building, because we're not there.
Right.
But we see the product that's on the field. And right now, there's some issues in Miami.
Well, and I think it was, quite frankly, both those teams were in the same situation coming into today.
Right.
Same record, same level of storylines, different things that have gone on. Joe Flacco was traded from the Browns.
Frustration, despair,
yes.
all of that.
And those teams look vastly different in how they played today. The effort, the intensity, the interest level, whatever that may be. I think it was almost even more glaring today because both teams were in the same situation and you saw one team respond. One team kind of band together, fight together.
Yeah.
Get the best out of what they had that day. And you don't see that from Miami right now. And it is interesting because there's still a lot of football to be played. And there's a long way to go in this season. And when you have performances like that, an effort level like that, an intensity like that for the Dolphins in the second half, something needs to change.
Yeah, you're right about that. And, Coach, I love that you mentioned the second half because we've been around this game a long time. We know what that locker room was like.
Yeah.
Guys are frustrated, maybe throwing stuff around. We're not going to assume what happened in the locker room or what was said, but we do know that there was some type of motivational talk.
There was a message.
There was a message that was sent from somebody, whether it was your head coach, assistant coach, or the leader on the team in the locker room.
That's it.
And then they come out and they did not respond. That says more about where they are at this point in the season than anything else. And like Matt said, there's a lot of football left. So, my reminder to these young guys is every game is your resume. I understand that the circumstances, it has you at a point where you are going home right now. You are looking at ways to ship your car. You're already planning your vacation for the offseason. You might be talking to your agent if you're not on a long-term deal about where you want to go or if you want to get traded or your next stop. Resist the urge to do all of those things because all that will do is pull you away from what the most important thing is right now, which is your job. Doing your job on the field. And trust me when I say everybody is paying attention to guys that pack it up and mail it in and dudes that show up and play ball.
Yeah. There's 10 games to go for them, right? You're 7 games in. There's 7 games behind. There's 10. There's more in front of you than is behind you. And there's a level of professional pride that has to be there as players. I start with players. As players, with the way that you play, the intensity that you play with. The execution, I get, sometimes that's not there, but the intensity, the effort, it just didn't look like that in the second half. It didn't look like a professional standard.
And, a lot of times these results are a result of depleted injuries, depleted at a certain position. You're kind of handcuffed with what you can deal with. That's not been the case with this team. I know they lost Tyreek Hill, I get that, but there's been a lot of other players. They have playmakers on both sides of that ball, and for whatever reason, it's not meshing together. And again, I go back to the same thing, and I know there's a lot of things that may be going on the inside, whatever they may be. But you come out last week and you start making some comments like that publicly, and you're trying to back up those comments. And then you come out and put a performance like this against a team that also has just one win, and you were a preseason pick to maybe make the playoffs, and you sit there where you are right now. It's a big challenge right now for Mike McDaniel to get this football team back and to have a sense of purpose with the rest of this season. But that's his job right now with this football team. He's got to find a way to message his team, to find a way to get this team to understand that we got right now just win one game.
Yeah.
And then one game after one game. And that's what it is, right? It's don't have to look at anything else. How we got here, we're here. We just got to win one game.
This is his toughest test as a head coach.
100%.
A rivalry that brings out the best.
That was a good first drive. That was a good first drive.
Yeah. In my head, when I think about the Chiefs, is urgency. One, the season didn't start off the way they wanted. So they have this sense of urgency, trying to get things figured out before they really get into the heart of the season, especially November and December, where you become who you're going to be in the playoffs. And then also urgency in getting Rashee Rice the ball. All right, he's back on the field. He got fresh legs. Let's go ahead and feed him early and often. There is no mistake. I don't care if we're facing you as a defense. You know exactly what we're going to do with the ball. Just like when Worthy was on the field for the first time this year, they got on the rock. And the last person is Rashee Rice himself. Urgency. Listen, you've been missing. For reasons we don't have to discuss. You already served your suspension, but there is a sense of urgency for you to reestablish sense of urgency from the team, sense of urgency getting their playmakers the ball, and then Rashee Rice himself understanding, hey, listen, I'm at a point in my career where I got to tighten up on and off the field if I want to, one, stick around for a long time and also keep making some money.
You know, I think you look at this Kansas City Chiefs, and I think that's an accurate word to use in the approach that they took this week, because clearly we sat there and talked to Chris Jones before the game. Chris Jones is talking about studying tape up until the time he leaves.
Come on now.
So you know through the course of that week, talking about the Raiders, it's a divisional game, and they're talking about how last year we didn't play well in these divisional games, these one-score games. There is that sense of urgency in that locker room on both sides of the ball. And I thought you saw today. And matter of fact, from the defensive side of the ball for Andy Reid, he has coached, this is his 427th game. He's been there for 27 years in the National Football League. This is his first regular season shutout.
That's hard to believe.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Hey.
Well done. Well done.
Not
well
easy.
Cheeseburgers for everybody.
You know, and again, you talk about the complementary parts of a football team, offense to defense. Andy Reid to Steve Spagnuolo, what these guys have accomplished together. And it speaks volumes about how they approach things, how they approach the game. And again, I go back to the word that you used, because that to me, here we are in week 7, and they're applying urgency because they understand what it was like early in this season when they felt they were backed into a corner. They lose those games. All of a sudden, they're down 3 divisional games. Everyone's handing the division to the LA Chargers because they've won 3 in a row. And it's all, wow, what about us? And yet all the backups were playing. They're getting experience. They get Worthy back. Boy, they look faster. They get Rice back, and they are now on another gear.
Just to coattail on Nate's point about the accurate word urgency, as opposed to what some of the fans were saying, they ought to be panicking. Patrick Mahomes never did. He said 3 games or so ago, hey, look, I believe in the character of these guys. We know what we're doing. All he needed were his weapons back. And there is still, because you even asked me on your other show, your news show, you know what, is he still the best quarterback? I say, when he's got his weapons, are you kidding me?
And listen, they weren't about the MVP, about Super Bowl contenders, about teams that look good, teams that look cool, teams that look sexy, all without talking about the Chiefs. So Chiefs, I'm sorry, because I was also guilty of that. And now, here is the ultimate reminder of the Chiefs saying, wait a minute, you can't talk about the post